Hey, everybody. Wait till we get a few people in here. I want to talk about the severe weather that we're going to have for Wednesday. Hi, Dale. And over on my YouTube, Shannon, Rich, hello. Uh, Unlike the other day, I do have both chats up so I can watch them. Wait till we get a few more people on here, and then I'll get started. I've been kind of busy last couple days working on some new graphics, and also, as you can see, I've added the chat on my stream. Hola. But I tell you what, I was really worn out after Saturday, and I was going to try. Hey, thanks for the bets. And so I was going to try to take yesterday off, but I ended up getting severe weather here, and the picture you see there in the background is a shelf cloud that I got. And let me get me out of the way. There you can kind of see a little bit of a lowering on it, and that did produce a funnel. And this is only like maybe a couple miles away from me. It did end up going over by Springfield, and I guess it did end up producing a tornado over there. But I snuck outside, and right after I took this picture, um, the wind, we had over 50-mile-an-hour winds, and that hit me in my back and about knocked me down. I had a heck of a time. I tried to get a picture of the funnel cloud, but it didn't last that long. Hey, Brian, over on YouTube. I'm dual streaming on Twitch and YouTube, but unlike the other day, I've got it set up now to where I can watch the chat here on my screen, and plus on the other computer, I'm watching the YouTube chat, so I'll be able to answer some questions a little bit later. So let's get started. We got a few people here, and the first thing I want to mention. We did have over 500 severe reports. Yeah, that includes tornadoes, hail, straight line winds. Over 500 reports over the weekend. So that was a 3-day event. Sadly to say, as of right now, the last that I heard, we do have 8 dead. 2 of those were children that were in a car, and a tree fell on them. My green screen program's messing up, so don't worry about. You start seeing ghosts out here. I don't have my lighting quite right tonight, but yeah, they were in a car going down the road, and I guess a tree fell on it and killed the 2 children. And for those of you that was watching me on Saturday, I mentioned that I got woke up at 7:10 in the morning Eastern time by my program that sounds the siren when there's a tornado, and the tornado warnings continued to pop all that day, all that night. I finally got to sleep like 5:30 in the morning, I think it was 5 or 5:30 in the morning, and I got woke up 2 hours later with more tornado warning sirens going off on my program. And hey, I'm doing pretty good, bud. Thank you. And they lasted all day yesterday, and even came clear up here in Ohio and even northeast Ohio, and then over into Pennsylvania. And I listened to tornado warnings clear up till after 4 this morning. So I haven't got a confirmation yet on how many confirmed tornadoes there is. I know there were several. I know they're saying there's at least 2 in Ohio. I think there was actually 3, but I've only heard confirmation of 2 so far. But I haven't got a total for the whole weekend yet. So now that I got a few more people in here, let's start talking the next system that's coming. And they've already got a Torcon of 5 for Dallas for Wednesday, and Torcons of 4 or 40% chance for parts of Oklahoma, Arkansas, and that all the other areas. And let me show you the SPC. Let me switch screens here. And this is going to change. Last night they actually had that enhanced, or the orange area. They had it going clear up like the whole eastern half of Oklahoma, southeast Kansas, more in Arkansas. So this morning they've changed this. So far they've kind of stuck with us. Hey Richard, on YouTube. And I'll turn on the cities here and zoom in on it. Whoops. And you can see that Dallas is in that, right in the middle of that enhanced. And then huge slide area. And looking at the models, it's definitely going to pop. Now, some of it is going to be popping like real late afternoon. There's going to be a lot of overnight it's going to be a lot of nighttime tornadoes again, and that really scares me. And then this is for Thursday. They've already got a 15% out. Whoops, let me stop that. And you can see that the eastern part of Louisiana, all of Mississippi, Alabama, and almost all of Georgia, almost all of Tennessee, western part of Kentucky, Illinois, and down in the southwest corner of Indiana. Now this is for Thursday, and I know this is going to change as well. And I'd like to show you the satellite. And let's get this over on my main screen here. I want you to concentrate right here on this swirl right here. That's the next low pressure system that's going to be bringing us the severe weather for Thursday. I mean Wednesday, excuse me. Well, Wednesday and Thursday. And let me go ahead and put it into motion. It'll take a little bit for all the tiles to load up here. But you can see how that son of a gun's a swirling out there. That's a pretty good upper level disturbance right there. And I'll switch over to the water vapor mode and let it load up the tiles here. Now that real pretty brownish gold color, that's dry air. But you can see how it's swirling around. And it's, let me freeze frame it here and zoom in. The low is going to be about right there. So I'll move on and well, let me back up here and show you what's left of what passed us. And I'll bring up the Ghost satellite here. And this is the water vapor mode. And you can see they're still getting some rains way up in the northeast. That's what produced all the tornadoes. That's what's left of it. Now it's too late to show you a visible satellite here on the East Coast, but you can still see how it's counterclockwise circulating around there. And Fort Worth, Dallas Fort Worth, they've got a 50% chance of seeing a tornado, and I'll cover more on that here in a little bit. And next I would like to show you the models and show you what I'm seeing. Switch scenes. Okay, I'm looking at the NAM Nest model, and right now I just got it in sim reflectivity, and I'll move it through time here. Well, it's got to refresh the page here. NAM Nest, Texas area. Now here you can starting to see it pop up, and that's right around 14Z. But when she really blows up is a little bit later, and you can see that right there is starting to go right across the Dallas Fort Worth area. But that's not the best part. Right here is when it really starts blowing up, and that's going to be after dark. Right there, whoops. Right here, this line is starting to blow up. That's at 04Z, and O4Z is going to be about 11 o'clock at night, and that's what really scares me. Now that's changed from earlier, because it was going to start more like 7 or 8 o'clock of a night when it got there, but this latest model run is already changed. Yeah, let me do something here. Now, I don't know if we've got anybody going out yet or not. I know a few maybe talking about it. I had to move some pages around. I don't have all 10 monitors running today. I've only got 4. But I'll go ahead and switch to the Supercell composite and bring that across. And right there you can see it's really starting to blow up with the possible supercells right around 18Z. Which 18Z, I look on my chart, that's going to be like 1 o'clock in the afternoon. but they really start blowing up right around 0Z, which is going to be 7 o'clock Central Time. Lorenzo, if you live in a mobile home, keep a close eye on your weather for Wednesday. And if this continues to hold out, you better take shelter somewhere. Let me look at significant tornado risk. Mobile home is a very bad place to be. Earlier in the year, a lot of the deaths that was in Alabama was people who lived in mobile homes. I think some of them from this past system over the weekend actually passed because they were in mobile homes. Now, I'm looking at the significant tornado risk, and right there at 21Z, which would be 4 o'clock Central Time, that red right there, that's your significant tornado risk. And I'll zoom in on it here. Now, look at these wind barbs and how they go in different directions. This is going to be where the low is going to be at. Okay. And so it's going to be pulling moisture up from the Gulf. And that's what's going to be causing a lot of high risk right there. But it really, starts blowing up like south central Oklahoma and that and overnight. Hey, Jen. Hey, Jen. You thinking about going right back down there again? I mean, it looks like the best part of it's going to be after dark. That's the heck of it. I haven't talked with Stephen and Corey yet. I'm sure they might be interested in it, although I heard him say something earlier about maybe going to California, but I'm not sure when he's doing that. I think he's doing that tomorrow, but I'm not positive on that. And now, the one thing that's going to kind of hold us back with that firing off during the day, okay, yeah, the models kind of look, really good early, except for cap. What a cap is when you get warmer air, high in a higher altitude, and it puts a cap on it. It caps it off, and the storms can't go up higher. And if it can bust that cap early, then the things are going to fire up a lot earlier. Hey, Rick, I see you join me here on this one, on the Twitch. But at the beginning of it, it's going to be capped, and that's the reason why it's going to be later in the day. Once that warm air aloft gets busted, then it's going to be good. Now, another thing too is there's going to be a really strong dry line on the west side of this, and the hot what it is, it's the hot dry air is going to go over top at the higher altitude. So we're going to have drier air aloft, and that's not good. And plus warm air aloft. Now, once that gets buoyant enough down, on the ground, which there's going to be a lot of moisture and a lot of temperature, the dew points are going to be great. Once it gets enough of that, it will bust right up through that dry, warm air aloft up about 10,000 feet. And that's when the storms will really start firing off. The wind shear is I talked the other day about SLIM, the acronym for shear lift, instability, and moisture. Uh, the shear is not the directional shear is not all that great. It's there, but it's not all that great. There is speed shear where the upper level winds at 5 to 10,000 feet is moving faster than the ones on the ground, so that gives you your horizontal rotation. And uh, but once that cap busts, then it'll start to turn vertical, and so that's the reason why there's the Weather Channel is giving it a 50% chance of a tornado around the Dallas area, which is in the center of the enhanced. And the bad thing is a lot of this is going to be overnight. So that's pretty much the overview of what they're saying right now. Now things are liable to change after 1 o'clock in the morning my time, and hey Oki, but like I said, the SPC yesterday, had the enhance going clear up eastern Oklahoma, but and today they kind of lowered it down more in Texas than anything. But hey Phil, you going to be chasing, bud? You going to be chasing on Wednesday?
It's 9 o'clock p.m.
The time is 9 o'clock p.m.
Yeah, over on my YouTube chat. Yeah, I would not stay in your mobile home when these storms start coming in. And cool, Philip. I'll be around. You know me. And for those on here that haven't done it yet, over on our Twitch, instead of giving you everybody that's on there, right there at the top of the screen is a link that takes you to our team channel, and there it will give you a list, and any of them that's live streaming, it will have a red dot next to it. So that way you can pick and choose who you want to watch, and then there's always multi-Twitch. Hey, glad to see you on here. Thanks for joining me tonight. Yeah, we're just kind of covering the for those that's just joining me, we're covering the severe weather risk for Wednesday and Thursday. Yeah, large hail potential towards sun. Yeah, it's mainly going to be. I mean, a lot of it's looking at the models, looking at NAM Nest. It's going to be after dark. Hey Nathan, thanks for joining me, man. And hey, no problem. Yeah, I was really glad that Stephen and Corey got on a decent chase and stayed safe and got on the Weather Channel. Yeah, earlier it's going to be. Thanks, Nathan. But hey, Nathan, that picture behind me, that's the shell cloud I got yesterday when those storms rolled through here. Yeah, that we had over 50-mile-an-hour winds on that, and you can see that lowering on there. And that I did see a funnel on it, but before I get a picture of it, it died. But then it got up by Springfield, Ohio, and it did drop a tornado. So. And I can show you one of those tornadoes that somebody got on their cell phone. Let me switch over to it.
As a bystander rather than a political journalist, but certainly, it gives you an idea of the emblematic and iconic status this historic cathedral has for the French.
All right, Patrick Gailey, thank you so much with Agence France Presse. We really appreciate you being with us. I want to bring back in our Jim Bitterman, who has lived in Paris for many years.
I'm not sure who took this. This was in Richland County, which, if I'm not mistaken, was up there southeast of Findlay.
You can see on scene the water, at least one water cannon that we're seeing. We did see another fire hose that a crew had, and that's just what we can see from our vantage point here, looking from the rear of the Cathedral of Notre Dame. They appear to be making some progress, but there are still flames that are almost as tall as the facade of this building. We're talking 30, 40 feet at least.
And like I said earlier, sadly, there's been 8 deaths, and 2 of those were children that were killed in a car when a tree fell on the car. But tell you the truth, when it went across Louisiana and Mississippi and Alabama and Georgia, Tennessee, Kentucky, there's a lot of people that live in shacks and mobile homes, and I'm really surprised that there was only 8 deaths.
The president now heading for the scene, but also the prime minister is going to head out. He is going to be there at the scene soon.
Let me turn the volume down on that feed. But like I was saying there at the beginning, I got woke up by GR Earth with a tornado warning at 7:10 Saturday morning, and those tornado warnings didn't stop till after 4 o'clock this morning. Well, it was 4:30 this morning. I mean, they were all day Saturday, all night, all day yesterday, all night. That's pretty awesome right there. Now, out of the 2 confirmed reports from NWS Wilmington, the strongest was an EF3, which I take is this one, although it looks a lot bigger than that, but apparently the winds must not have been as strong. Yeah, get me back up here. So, is there any questions on my YouTube or my Twitch? What do I think of Wednesday? Very great potential. Like I was saying, there's not a lot of directional shear, but there's going to be speed shear where the upper winds are going faster than on the ground. So that there is some shear there. There's going to be a cap to start out with most of the day, and some overrunning dry air, dry warm air. In the upper levels, and that's going to cap it off, just like a cork on champagne. And it's going to be a lot of moisture, though. It's going to be a lot of moisture, and once the instability in that picks up, then it could pop that cap, and when it does, boy, those storms will just blow up big time. Oh, you want to see the models again? What particular model you want to look at? Hey, funny car. Yeah, I'm thinking, Philip, that they just might move that that enhance back to the west again. This is the Sig Tour. Now there's a real sharp down here on the Sig Tour, significant tornado risk. But you know that's at 08Z. Now I haven't got the next model run yet. Let's see, it's going to be a while yet before I need to see the next model run on the NAM Nest. Now we can look at the cape and the shear. And right in there, it starts looking pretty good. That's at 22Z central, about central Texas. And then as it goes on, then, you know, it starts, you know, kind of fading out. That's your cape or potential energy and the shear put together. Yeah, the lapse rates are good. But it's so early yet. I mean, shoot, that's day after tomorrow. I just wanted to come on here and try to give some people some warning to be prepared. And this is the future radar. And let me loop it here, slow it down a bit. I'm looking at the NAM Nest, or the new NAM, on this model. This is a model run from College of DuPage, the COD site. You can see how that's kind of swirling over the left side of the screen as it comes across. That's where the low pressure system is, and but right there, that's at 06Z, which is 06Z is like 1 a.m. Central Time. But that satellite view, that's pretty impressive. I'll bring that back up. Let me go to my other scene. And let me go back, see if I still got enough sunlight out west for visible. And, you know, like I've said in the past, I always look out in the Pacific Ocean to see what's happening there, because whatever happens in the Pacific Ocean is coming our way. And it kind of gives me a clue of the next system that's coming along. And you can see that thing swirling there. Now, as it moves southeast and gets down there, it'll actually produce another low, a surface low. And yeah, Lorenzo on my YouTube. Yeah, be weather aware down there around the Dallas-Fort Worth area, man. You know, like I say, it's going to be late afternoon and overnight. So if you got the Weather Channel, keep an eye on them. I'll try to post more as it gets closer. And, you know, keep listening to your local news channels. If you got cell phone, then Be sure to turn on alerts so you get alerts, for the severe weather and that. And definitely do not stay at a mobile home, when this thing comes across, because that's just flat dangerous, man. Mobile home is one of the worst places to be in. Actually, I think mobile home might be listed number 1. A car is second. Underneath an overpass is third. Either above ground or below ground shelter or basement is a good place to be. And but like I say, mobile home is at the top of the list of the worst places to be during tornadoes. Or even straight line winds. I mean, there was a lot of damage over this past weekend from straight line winds, and I seen video earlier today of a mobile home that was just blowed over, and some people were injured because they were in it, and it was just straight line winds that got it. There any more questions about Wednesday and Thursday? I'll let everybody know more about Thursday when it gets a little bit closer. I mean, I hate to go that far out because things change so much. It's going to depend. Things are going to change between now and Wednesday. And Jen needs Thursday. It's be closer to it. Yeah, Thursday's actually going to come up in Evansville, Indiana, and southern part of Illinois and western Kentucky, and that's your territory, Jen. Yeah, Lorenzo, that's the way it was here earlier the year down there in Alabama. In the rural area, people didn't have no shelter really to go to. They was out in the middle of nowhere, and there was a whole bunch of mobile homes, and that's where some people died. Yeah, it doesn't take much, with the right circumstances, an EF0 can kill somebody. But I forgot what I was going to say. Yeah, I seen video of a lot of trees that got uprooted with the straight line winds and the tornadoes. So I'm open for questions, but Thursday, I'm going to kind of leave that open because I tell you what, depending on what happens Wednesday, is going to affect what happens Thursday. How strong is it going to be in Mississippi, Alabama on Thursday, after everything happens on Wednesday. And Wednesday's still 2 days out. So, but I'll try to do more of these weather updates and try to keep everybody aware the best I can. Now, since nobody's asking anymore, okay, would it be good schools to open to take shelter? Yeah, a lot of times schools do, but the best place to be in any building is in the center of the building in the smallest room. Schools used to be, back in my day, there was a severe storm coming. They put all the classrooms were the kids in the gymnasium. Well, they found out that's one of the worst places to be in a school. But I know sometimes schools have opened their doors and let. Okay, Philip, you take care, bud. As long as there's a small area in the middle of the building, restrooms or whatever. Well, looking at the models, it looks like the storms are going to start. Actually, I wouldn't call them storms, but according to the future radar, it looks like they're going to start West Texas, western Oklahoma, eastern New Mexico. I don't know how strong those are going to be because looking at the model, it's really not going to start getting really strong until about central Texas. Sitting in Denmark, so I'll just follow it. Okay. Yeah, just stay tuned. I've got a good feeling that we're going to have some chasers out there. I'll be covering it live. Oh, I tell you what, this last system, even after the tornado warning stopped at after 4:30 this morning, those storms were still strong when they hit up in the northeast. And even in like St. Louis right now, the Mississippi River at St. Louis is something like 3 foot over flood stage. And then, we're getting all this snow melt up north and all this rain all around that's going to be running down the Mississippi. And which, by the way, I forgot to mention, this storm over the weekend affected 22 states. 22 out of 50 states. Well, don't count Alaska and Hawaii, but out of the lower 48, 22 states was affected by this weekend storm we had. Yeah, for Wednesday so far, it looks like Dallas is going to be a hot spot to be in, between there and Oklahoma border or even to the south. Looking at the future radar, the one thing I didn't like about part of that is it's going to be linear. It's going to be real, straight line, and which that's going to be more of a hail and wind producer. But on the future radar at late afternoon, it looks like there's going to be some discrete cells out in front of that line. Thank you for joining me from Netherlands. Now, I did have some questions here lately about the software that I run, which y'all know from Saturday. Bow lines and microburst. Yeah, it's going to be a major problem. But I told you all Saturday the GR products that I run. I run GR Earth. GR stands for Gibson Ridge, and GR Level 3 and GR2 Analyst. But I had people asking me about all the other stuff that was on my screen, and I thought I'd kind of go over and show you some of it. Which one thing you'll see on one of my monitors, on that 10 monitor shot, is I have a security camera up. That's it right there. And then I had people ask me about that program right there. That's the program I use for to balance my microphone and give me the good sound. It controls all of my audio. That's called Voice Meter. Really nice program, and I can play music or any audio file there on the right side there, but it gives me total control of a whole bunch of channels, and I can actually, like in this second channel, I can feed that into Discord, and that would totally control the audio and my input and output on Discord. And I got all the equalizer controls and everything on this. And that's just some of the programs that I have running all the time. Yeah, the storms will pop up in front of that dry line. The dry line is going to help spark it. But, the problem, like I was saying earlier, the problem's going to be is the dry line is going to be some really warm air, and it's going to override the cooler air, because warm air rises, so it's going to override the cooler air down by the surface, and that's what's going to cause that cap. And plus the dry air, that just the moist uplift, the more buoyant moist uplift is going to have to try to bust through the warmer air and the dry air aloft up there around 10,000 feet. And once it does, then the storms will go. They'll go just like this one behind me here. Is which one an app? The voice meter program? It's a program that I downloaded. It's free to use with donations. It's called Voice Meter Banana. There's some YouTube videos on it if you want to go and just search for if you want to search on YouTube. There's some videos on it. It's a pretty cool program. It was a little hard to set up at first, but once I did, I mean, that's the reason why my mic quality is so good and you can't hear my TV running. It's got a bunch of really cool goodies on it. Oh, thank you. I don't mind taking the time out, as long as I can give people some information that'll save their life. And like I say, most likely we'll have some chasers out live streaming, and you want to check them out. Right there at the top of the screen is the link for them. That's our team channel, and then that'll show you everybody that's live streaming, and then you can select on whichever one you want to watch live. And for those of you that haven't done it, that's watching right now, let me get the chat off of here for a minute. Right there, you can search on Facebook for bgray-storm tracker/radar guide. Please give my page a like. I've been getting more active on it and posting more things. Hey, Terry. And the last couple of days I've been working on some graphics, as you can see. Kind of snazz up my my Twitch stream here. For anybody that's thanks, Terry. I appreciate it. And for anybody that wants to donate, if you're so inclined, right there's my PayPal. I was up till 4 o'clock in the morning learning Adobe Premiere. I've had it for a long time, but I just never worked with it. And also, I used to use Photoshop a lot, and the old version back in the 90s, and now I got this newer version, and boy, did that thing change from back in the day. And so I went through a learning curve late last night with Adobe Premiere and Adobe Photoshop. So, we'll get severe storms in northern Illinois. As of right now, I don't think so. It would be Thursday. I think it's mainly going to be in the southern part of Illinois. I mean, it very well could move up north, but I just don't know if it's going to hold together. Now, here's the SPC for day 4. This is for Thursday. They do have the 15% on it, but stay tuned because it very well could shift up north. Like Philip said earlier, I think Wednesday's enhance is going to get shifted more west. So that's going to affect Thursday. So I'll probably do another one of these tomorrow night as well. You know, as we get closer, I'll know a lot more. Yeah, it could go more east. It could go west. Could not come up this direction at all. Oh, I hope Adobe don't go away after I just spent a bunch of hours last night learning it. So, with that, I think I'm going to call tonight. Grab me something to eat. It's 9:31 here in the Eastern time zone. So I want to thank everybody for joining me tonight. Stay tuned, and I'll probably go live again tomorrow night, and with some more weather updates. So until then, we'll catch you on the next chase.